Hello Internet, my name is Roland, and yeah, I'm making this video to highlight a very serious issue, and a very serious and set of circumstances. So I'm going to try and shorten this and try to explain it in a way that makes sense. So unfortunately for me, I've just had a friend pass away, and his funeral happens to be this coming Saturday. And on the same Saturday, originally I planned to go to a video game tournament. Now, I think it's quite obvious which one you'd go to. You can only go to the funeral once in your entire lifetime because we only die once, so to speak. No pun intended there with the meme. But, and no disrespect to anyone that may have passed on. But, it is true. You can only go to a funeral once. And, I'd rather much go to the funeral, pay respects to my friend, rather than go to the video game tournament. The video game tournament I had booked to go to originally was a paid tournament, and I gave my spot to someone else. This made one of my other friends upset because one of his friends did not have a spot, unbeknownst to my knowledge. So I'd assumed that his friend had already pre-registered like the rest of us that were going to that tournament. So this person airs their distaste of me in a Facebook conversation, and then PMs me later before blocking me and says this: "You are an autistic piece of shit, you wait till I see you next." Do I have to say how wrong those comments are? Now, I have had a past diagnosis of Asperger's syndrome. I do not consider myself to be severely impaired by my past diagnosis of Asperger's syndrome, but these comments are completely unacceptable. They are unacceptable in every way. Especially the second thing, which is the threat. You wait till I see you next. So not only has this individual taken it upon themselves, because they are known to me personally, I might add, it raises concerns. So they know something about me personally, which I have no problem sharing with you in this video. Yes, I have Asperger's syndrome, but I do not consider myself severely impaired by it. And he threatens, you wait till I see you next, implies that he wants to threaten physical violence against me. Now, I will say, this is not bragging rights, but I do not fear this person on a one-on-one fight. And, that's completely my call. I would have no problem defending myself against this person physically based on what I've seen. But yes, his autism comments are certainly unacceptable. And so I addressed his comments. I spoke to him later on Skype, and this is what this is what I had to say to him. Now you can read the comments for yourself for his video. There's my statement, but what he says to me next to me in response is very concerning. He tries to blackmail me and accuse me of making anti-Islamic comments. And he threatens to send some Muslims to my house. Now, I should note that this person has stayed at my house before, and ironically enough, to go to another game tournament. This, is very concerning. He threatens to send some Muslims to my house, and apparently I made some anti-Islamic statements. So, yeah, that's just stupid. You're trying to blackmail me and paint me as someone that is anti-Islamic for what is potentially freedom of speech. Now, I have not made an anti-Islamic comment per se. The only thing I can think of that may have motivated his comment for that is me sharing my freedom of speech for supposedly an Islamist group wanting to replace our government with an Islamic caliphate. So I don't see how it's anti-Islamic, to be honest with you, exercising the freedom of speech in opposition to someone's views. You are allowed to refute someone's views and ideas. It is simply the freedom of speech. But yeah, so, well, you might ask, that pretty much the autistic comments are not appreciated, and so is the threat of terrorism not appreciated. In fact, you would do yourself a good service to read the anti-terrorism laws of Australia. So, to summarize things up, if you're going to go to a video game tournament or a funeral, the funeral is going to be the priority, not the video game tournament. You can go to a video game tournament anytime you like when one is being run, but simply put, the funeral is a priority, and my attention is better directed at going to the funeral and supporting the family through that rough time. It is not acceptable, and nor do I appreciate people's stereotyping of people with autism. That is simply unacceptable, and and the person making these comments should be downright ashamed of themselves that they were caught out making those comments. It is also entirely unacceptable to blackmail someone for making anti-Islamic comments, and it is also entirely unacceptable to threaten their family and home with terrorism. It is especially against the law to do so. So to summarize up, none of these things highlighted in this video are unacceptable. Never stereotype people for having autism, because it's not funny. It is actually really a serious issue. Never blackmail someone of being an anti-Islamic / xenophobic, and never threaten someone with terrorism, because it happens to be against the law. So I do apologize if I got a bit raged there. I do apologize if you're wearing headphones there as well. But yes, I will thank you for watching the video. But I just need to get this off my chest, and quite frankly, for all of you who see this video, and if you're shocked and appalled, then because it's not really acceptable. I think these sort of things should be highlighted, not only in today's current political climate with regards to terrorism, and I'm not anti-Islamic, but with regards to the autistic comments made against me. Seriously. If I suppose I actually do have Asperger's syndrome, I've been questionable of the diagnosis before. Suppose I do have Asperger's syndrome. What? Does that make me any less of a person than you? No. If you're Muslim, does that make you any less of a person than me? No. And I'm not anti-Islamic. So I don't appreciate being mislabeled as xenophobic and anti-Islamic. And I do not appreciate certainly being told that, oh, because you're autistic, the suggestion that because you're autistic, you're stupid, you're this, you're that. And obviously I do not appreciate the threat of terrorism or violence directed towards me. So again, thank you for watching this somewhat ranty video, but I hope I have highlighted the seriousness of some of these threats made against the individual, and hopefully you learn to call out this behavior for what it is and encourage your friends not to partake in it either. So thanks again, and take care.